And good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I haven't even opened up my Discord here on the PC yet. I was having a dinner quickly. And so, yeah, I'm here. I just made it kind of in time. I was also privileged to watch Zibo and Sasso and the guys there. Alex was there as well, our other team pilot in the dev room. They're still busy, it seems. So I'm gonna quickly just pop into my live on air here. Give anybody who wants to join a chance to actually join me. The guys are working, and I tell you what, when you look at the high level, this is proper high level stuff the guys are busy with now. Boggles the mind. I tell you, these guys are really awesome at what they do. Absolute specialists. So I'm busy setting up here quickly, and I'll start sharing all my screens and stuff. I'm just waiting for Explain to start up. Cancel that. I'm just quickly busy with little nav map here. File. Export to the AMPIT tab. Good evening, Steve. Hello, Sasha. Hello, Andy. Welcome, guys. Nice to see you here. Hope you guys are well. Right, so that takes care of that. Let's bring in the SimBrief downloader, and I need to start setting up my display so everybody can see what I'm doing. Sorry, guys. Dinner was really good. I just couldn't leave 2 minutes earlier to just get going, so I do apologize. Right, let's see.
I am ready for electrical power up procedure.
How's it, Linda? I can hear you going on in the background. Let's quickly see. Yes. All right, there we go. So now we can share some planning information. All right, I'm currently looking, this is Stansted. So we're planning on using runway 4. All good, thank you. It was a tough week, but now I'm going to rest and just enjoy myself. I don't know of any commitments for the weekend, so I'm just going to chill a bit, maybe work on some more tutorials or something, you know. Hello, HD Simulation, welcome. So anyway, back to the plan. That's runway 4. We've got an interesting situation at Dublin. And at Dublin, you can clearly see the wind is pointing to runway 10 right to be the active runway. It tells us there that it's blowing at 6 knots. So what's interesting is we've got 6 knots coming from the front, but it also sees 1 from the side. Now, the interesting thing with Dublin is the SOPs that run with this. Let's quickly just go to the charts. Come on, click. And let me show you. This is the interesting thing. You know, as a flight simmer, I think a lot of us, for many years, at least I did this, you know, you look at the winds, you go, oh, okay, that one's more than 5 knots or 6 knots in that direction. I'll quickly take the thing. But I've said this to many people and on many different streams already. There is something called, in this case, it's called preferential runway system. So there's an SOP at the airport that tells us that during certain times, certain runways is required to be in use. And then this one specifically is interesting because it says if the crosswind component on runway 10 or 28 is greater than 20 knots, that's when you switch over to the other one. So there's a lot of play and leeway given to us there. And then also, runway 28 will be the preferential runway when the tailwind component is 10 knots or less. Now, I'm just going to quickly pin that thing. And then we're going to go back to our meter. So currently we can see we've got 090 at 6 knots, and the breakdown is currently given like this. So it's 6 knots. If we take off runway 28 left, which is the preferred runway, we're going to have a 6 knot tailwind, and we're going to have 1 knot coming from the side. Okay, so clearly it tells us that we need to use 28 left. So I'm just rambling on a little bit here because obviously it's interesting and it's nice to actually show you guys something in practice. You know, that's the way it is. All right, so let's quickly actually go and mark this 28. That will be 4 on that side. Let's copy our route. It's not supposed to be there. Right. Paste. So that's the plan. All right. That should be enough time to get off the ground. I'm just adjusting the minimums and fuels and contingencies and stuff. Well, I need 1 alternate. I think that's it. That's all we need. Generate the dispatch. All right, so it is done. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly use this brief downloader to just export flight plans for us. And there we have it. So I want to use the one without the 01. The 01 at the end tells me that that's sim brief, so we don't want that one. And we just want to rename this one quickly so that we can do the import of the winds. Nope. You over there, developer, aircraft reload while we're busy. Right, so getting back to this one, let's see. All right, we've got a nice full load. Nice. So flight level, we're going to be flying flight level 350. Okay, not bad. Right, and then I must not forget my ACARs, right? ACARs.
Hello, Cap. My name is
And
Linda.
volume.
I am your first officer today.
Right, there's volume. Can you guys hear me okay there on the stream? Is the volume sufficient? Is it okay? Thank you, Krister. How are you doing, Krister? Are you okay?
I am ready for electrical power-up procedure.
Hold your horses, Linda. Hold your horses. Thanks, Andy. That's better. Can't go white. Beautiful. How's it, Neil? Well, lovely Linda is going to get a spin for the first time now in this new version 54. And if I look at what's happening here in the dev room right now, it looks like there's some excellent progress being made. Ooh, and I missed this. There's a new update. Let's see. I just want to see what Zibo said. It's an update for us guys. Anyway, sorry, I don't want to get you guys excited. But anyway. Right. Okay, yeah, I know that's still for them. Man, these guys do higher math and all these kind of stuff here. It's PhD stuff as far as I'm concerned. Some of the stuff they're busy with there, so we'll let them finish and then we'll show you guys how it works and all these other things. But yeah, been working on my trailer, finally done. Well, enjoy, Christer, enjoy. Right. I'm just quickly busy with the IVO stuff. I'm not sure I really want to fly online, but I'm just making provision. Anyway, you know what? I think I'm going to fly it online. Let's do it online. Why not? There we go. Then we are online now. I'll keep us busy. Alright, so for those of you that saw my previous stream, obviously we weren't yet, early days with Route 2 and all these things that are coming into play now. So the good news is that we have already received 2 other updates since then, and as I was telling you just now, we've now received the 4th one. So there was 3 updates. No, first one is the one I used. 2 more updates. Then the 4th update has just been released. I'm not going to restart to grab it. That's, like I said, between those guys. Once I'm done with the flight, I'll go update it. It's not necessary for me to do it now. But I'll show you. One of the things that Zibo discovered is the company route that he had and the company route that I had 2 different formats. He did not actually tell me that he got it from SimBrief. I just kind of assume that's where he get his flight plan from. And if you guys recall from all my training videos in the past, I used Navigraph desktop charts to get my export route. And so there was a discrepancy that they had to quickly fix. And that's why I had issues in the reveal stream, but I'll show you. It should be done, fixed now. It was working earlier at least. So let's quickly go. EIDW EGSS. Right. DEX 001. Activate, execute. Alright, so there we have our route copy is now active. It does not come active until we've executed, and there's route 2. So if we go to route 2, you'll see it's empty. There's now nothing in it, and this is where it bombed yesterday. That's because there's the 2 different formats between what SimBrief gives and what, for instance, Navigraph desktop charts gives, and he just had to find the discrepancy there and sort it out. So okay, so that takes care of that. Let's go back to route 1. We want route 1 to be active. And I'm just going to, sorry guys, give me a second. Every time they post something in the dev room, it catches my eye. So let's put it somewhere where it's kind of not moving. Right, okay. That should do it. Good, so departure and arrival, let's quickly have a look, see here. So if we go look, There we go, 28 left. DEXEN to Alpha. 28 left, that's correct. DEXEN to Alpha, that's correct. The arrival is ILS04. Laurel transition, alright, we can see that in desktop charts. Let's have a look, see. FINMA 1 Lima, that is correct. Let's quickly go check that chart. As you can see, it's the Laurel transition, so that's cool. So Laurel there is correct. Next page. While we are here, we might as well. Oh, by the way, I fixed my XN virus. We might as well check the weather. EIDW 1024. 1024. There we go. So let's step through. Why did it go blank there? Ah, that intersection point. Conditional waypoint again. Okay. You know what we didn't do? All the testing. During the testing, I don't load this. We need to fix this. We need to go to payload 19.6. That's correct, sir. That is so correct.
Ground flight deck hose disconnected and starting refueling. Ground cockpit plan is acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready to go.
Ah, Scotsman, excellent, excellent. That's good news. That is good news.
Ground to flight deck, fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
I caught myself for a sucker just now here in my mind. I always park at gate 121, old Ryanair habit of mine, right? Now today I'm standing in a different place and I'm trying to think, why does it look so different now? And then I realized, I moved my position. That's excellent, Scotsman. That is a very, very good thing. Well, let me tell you something. I'm not sure how many tests Zibo is making for 54, but I mean, you all know now that 54 is on the way, which will mean a complete full new install to do it properly, of course. So I trust and hope that the problems are gone. I think I'm almost ready to start the APA. Let's just finish the setup, because now everything is changed. That's 62.7. And we've got 62.7 there as well, and 68 to 68.1. Yeah, correct. So that's fine. That's fine. 2.1 on the reserves, cost index 20, going 350. And just to show you guys, I'm not really lazy. Let's go find the top of climb winds. Ooh, I've had some interesting discussions about top of climb winds versus average winds in the last couple of days. I am so not bothered about that, but some people are really, really bothered. So anyway, that's top of climb wind. So we're going to put that in there. I'm going to use a positive 6 in the ISA field. Alright. Let's go for about 36, see what we get. That should be fine. That's fine. That's fine. We've got a nice long runway. We might bring it down a little bit, just change it slightly. Ever so slightly. Right. Flaps 5.
Ready for pre-flight procedure.
Alright, Linda, you need to set the trim for us.
Trim up.
Alright, and we've got 149. 149. Yeah, depending on the outside temperature, it shouldn't be a problem, Christer. I mean, really. I've done some pretty nifty takeoffs in cold weather on very short runways with very low N1, just because the air is so nice and dense. So let's quickly see. 11625, 11625 on the VOR. 11625, right. 11050. Right, we're going to leave that VOR as active. Okay, yeah, well, we're done with that. Once upon a time. 277. Good one, Scotsman. Good one. reminds me of the joke. My wife once, oh no, not my wife, a woman once admitted she was wrong, but it was long, long ago and it only happened once. Have you heard that one? A woman. That's fine, we all set right. Let's start our APU. I'm getting running commentary here from Uncle John. Thank you, sir. Hello, Rab. I know, but it was long, long time ago and it only happened once. That's funny. Right, so that is done. Oh, you can switch it on once. That's done. That is done. That is done. Okay, so let's get you guys going. Start closing the doors. Oh, shame. But we still loved him. We still loved him. We can't live without him, let's be honest.
Cockpit, tow is drive now.
I forgot to press that button. Could be, my friend, it could be. Before start procedure.
Before start procedure.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect?
This is excellent scenery. I
Before
just
start
love this
procedure
scenery.
complete. Ready for before start checklist.
Right, the tow's been connected and the bypass pin's been inserted. You can release the parking brakes when you're ready. Start and push back, and you might start your engines there when you're ready.
Start number 2 engine.
Starting number 2 engine. N2. Starter cutout.
Start number 1 engine. Start number 1 engine. Oh man, she's not listening.
This checklist cannot be performed on the ground.
Start number 1 engine.
Starting number 1 engine.
That helps.
N2.
Right, the operation has been complete. You can set the parking brake when you're ready.
Starter
Right,
cut out.
disconnecting the tow. Stand by.
Engine start procedure complete.
Right, the tow has been disconnected. The bypass pin has been removed. The hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time. Take care, good luck.
There you go, guys. Put in that new expansion pack, Scotsman, and your problems will go away. You'll hear what I hear. You'll get a nice Irish accent and all the rest. There's quite a list. If you follow that link, you'll see there's quite a list of different variations now, all of a sudden. Right, I think this is it. We are ready to go. Should be flaps 5. That's the taxi light. Let's go.
Ready for before taxi procedure.
Guys, I just want to
Flaps
ask you a
5
favor. If somebody comes in the room here on Discord and you cannot hear them, just remind me to unmute them. I just don't want to leave the mics hot and then somebody comes in here, doesn't realize that I'm streaming, and he says something that he shouldn't say. So just remind me if you hear I'm talking to someone else and there's no voice coming through. Nice, Scotsman, nice. And Andy, welcome. You guys are welcome. Don't see anybody coming. Yeah, now they'll have to wait for me. Before takeoff procedure.
Before takeoff procedure.
Just want to see as we can go this way.
Before takeoff procedure complete. Ready for before takeoff checklist.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Approaching 2A left. Approaching runways.
These puddles of water are just amazing. Wow.
On runway 2A left.
Stabilized. Takeoff thrust set. Acceleration altitude. Approaching transition. Flaps upset. Transition altitude.
Guys, Over here I'm using Ortho for XP. The airport is from a payware company. You can look below the video. If you click on show more, you'll see the link there. It'll take you to the purchase page. But basically on the outside, on the ground is just orthos. I made the orthos myself. And then the clouds and the weather is provided by Xenviro.
Flight level 100. Landing
Hello,
light
Cole.
switches.
Welcome. Yeah, all good, sir. And you? How are you? Yeah, it does. It's all atmospheric change. You're right, Scotsman. Yeah, and now that your lights reflect again, now you can really enjoy it again, much more. Okay, so while the aircraft is climbing, I'm going to open my Navigraph desktop charts here for us. And we're going to look at the route. So let's go. EGSS, let's see. I know there's been a few small bugs, so I hope it works for us. And like I said earlier, I didn't have the knowledge that version 1.4 was released before I started the stream. I noticed it like a minute or two too late, so I just want to see if it actually works. Good, Scotsman. EIDW. 28. Man, what did you go and copy the wrong thing now? In get trouble. I'm an idiot. I'm clicking the wrong places. Right, so that's the actual flight plan. Right, flights, export, explain 11, put it in there. Alright, so let's move this one out of the way. Yeah, that's one of the things that Zibo did fix in 1.4. You can actually do a route import in a route 2 with the latest fix that I never loaded. EGSS. So that manually. EIDW company route not used. Next. Let's go departure from EGSS v3.54. That one. And arrival will be, well, there's 28 left. And use BAGSO. Alright, so let's go back there. Okay. It's kind of pointless for me really doing it right now, knowing that there is a fix already for some of it. But anyway, let's go to legs. You say it didn't take that portion that well. Lampo. Weird. Right, well, we can't activate it because it's going to mess up everything. So we're getting there, Okay, in the next stream we'll take it one step further. We'll start actually populating it. I don't feel like manually fixing all of this right now, so knowing that there is a fix, we'll just leave it at that. We're going to leave that blank. We're going to go back to route 1. Hang on a second. That's route 1. How did we get to the other page now? Route 2. Route 1. We did not want to do that. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, right. My bad. I must just concentrate. Yeah. That's better. I just noticed this. Thanks. Okay. Right, so in the next stream or so I'll show you all the fixes that happened there, so we should be able to build it easier and also import. Make a backup before you do that, Scotsman. You don't want to go and overwrite something that's working and then you can't get it fixed again. You know, just make a backup. Excellent, Scotsman. You just keep score. Okay, I've just quickly had a word with Sasso. They're wrapping up the testing and stuff for tonight. As Zibo says, it doesn't look as if there's any more testing required, so Sasso will join me on stream after he's landed. I just don't know when that will be, if I'm still going to be flying, but yeah, we'll see. Well, look at my yoke situation. All of a sudden, since about 2 weeks now, every time before I fly, I have to go into Windows control panel and I have to recalibrate the yoke, because otherwise my switches don't work. I've checked the cable, I've checked the software, I've checked everything. It just doesn't work. They're like it used to, just stopped. And it was after that one major power outage we had. So, weird. And like now, I mean, you can see it works. There's nothing wrong with it. But if I forget to calibrate it, it's broken. It just doesn't work. It only works when it wants to at that time. Steve, did I tell you what I will do when I'm reincarnated and I come back? I've already decided what occupation I'm going to have then. Yeah, because I'm not going back into computers, that's one thing for sure. I've already decided I'm going to do something else. Hey Rob, good evening. There, I typed it for you, so it's written in stone now. When I come back, if I ever come back, I'll be a fish line tester. There's nonsense with technology, I'm sorry, I'm done with it. Had enough. I'll see it out until the end now, but after that, never again. Ooh, my top of descent's almost here, can you believe it? My buddy David that worked with me that passed away in November, that was his saying. He always used to say to me, Nico, if I ever come back, I'm a fish line tester. So I've adopted that for myself as well. He can't be the only one having fun. I'll go join him. No, I'll be the guy sitting there on the shore, doing nothing, keeping an eye on the line, making sure it works. Hello, George. It does, George. It has a hell of an effect on frame rates, and that is why it is important when you get XEnviro to get the settings for your own system. This is my settings, and in my settings, or with my settings and my system, there's my frame rate at the bottom. I generally get a full 32. And I lock it at 32, but in this area where I'm flying now, it's notoriously bad, and it's an X-plane thing. It's not an XEnviro drop that you see over there. It's the area. The moment I get close to Liverpool, Manchester, London, it just tanks, man. It'll probably go down to about 19, 20 eventually as we get closer to London, and then as we descend, it will then increase again for the landing. But basically, it all comes down to your settings. If you can just find the correct balance, you'll be fine. There's not an issue with that. It's not like some of the previous versions that just killed you outright. Right, so we need to go check our charts and stuff. Let's start setting up. to the correct flight plan. Right, so we need to descend to 2,500. Right, we'll finish that just now. A bit closer, 2,500. We have next page, forecast, uplink the wind, execute. 1020, let's just check our QNH. Guys, always check the QNH because remember it reads it off the OFP. And if there's a live change in the QNH, you can have a problem, especially with RNAV approaches. Always make sure that the QNH, in this page is correct for what is expected in your simulator. EGSS. You see, there's a discrepancy. So now, depending on whether the QNH goes up and down, you will either be high or you will be low on your glide slope or glide path. I beg your pardon. When we do RNAV approaches, it's called glide path, and that's going to be a problem. So you need to always check it. Winds is going to be the same as in the OFP or very close to, because there is some calculations that are happening, so it's not necessarily 100% according to the OFP, but if interpolation and things like that happen, for instance, if Zibo actually implemented it, we were talking about it, whether he did, I also don't know really, but that could be slightly different just to compensate. So that's it, that takes care of that. 2.9 to 3.7. That is a 1.2 difference, so we're going down to 65 to 65.2. That gives us our VREF. My friend, your GTX 1080 will handle X-Plane 12, no problem. The big crunch is going to come with the CPUs. It's the least of your worries. Yeah, mine doesn't always do it. Look at my frame rates. But the areas here is notorious, and you'll see as we get closer to London, it's going to drop the frames again. It's for me currently my biggest drawback is my CPU and the areas that I fly. The area information. I mean, I've got True Earth Britain from Obex underneath me here, and it's hard on frames. That thing is really hard on frames depending on the area you're flying to. So you always have to take things like that into consideration. But if you fly in a rural area, unpopulated kind of a thing, you can have a lot of clouds. You'll never see any difference in your frame rates if you set it up correctly. It just takes some time. That's all it needs. Just some patience, some time. And if you get into trouble, you come speak to us on Discord. We'll try to help you out. You know, if you get fed up or something. 532. Yeah, that was fast. Right, so auto brake 1 should be fine. I think we're set.
Approach top of descent.
Thank you, Linda. You can't really see much. If you look at the radar, where is my web eye? You'll see we've got some weather to contend with. So that's where I am, right over there. You can see the clouds and stuff here. Okay. I'm actually wondering whether I enabled the through Earth. It doesn't look like it. For those of you that don't know, I use X Organizer before my flights, and I enable and disable the regions I don't fly in. And I've enabled a lot of things, but I think I might have forgotten to actually enable the through Earth. Oops. Check this. This is the first time I've noticed this. Look, see the picture here in WebEye. It actually shows the new livery. We submitted, by the way, guys. We've submitted the liveries now for FS9, FSX, P3D, and MSFS 2020. So that livery that you guys see there will be the IVAO livery. I did request that in Explain that they add this livery and not remove the previous livery. Whether they're going to do it, I don't know. I don't know yet what the outcome will be of this whole process. So yeah, we'll see. If they do change it and they turn around and say to me, sorry, we only allow one livery per aircraft or something strange like that, then obviously this livery that you guys see there will then, be the new livery on the IVAO network, which isn't bad. I mean, the other one served us well for a good 2 years now, so might be good for a change. I just don't know. We'll see what happens. But it's nice that they actually depict it now. It's right there. Now we don't have just the logo, IVAO logo there. Really nice. George, I'm speaking under correction because I don't have it open in front of me, but I think that's like a score. Let's see if I can actually see it. Are you talking, when you go to the pirate page or where? Let's quickly go have a look. Oops. Oh, yeah. Now this is your score. So basically it evaluates your performance. That is what the green line is there. So my last flight I had a 96% performance. Typically what it does is it looks at the landing rate, it looks at all kinds of different things, fuel planning, lights, all kinds of weird things. Don't worry about it, we don't score you on it. It's just a nice to have that the creator put in, you know, to the system. I lost all interest in the VAs that score you and do all kinds of weird things and basically give you a second job. And when I started the Skymatix VA, I said to the guys here, because obviously it wasn't just me, it was me and Uncle John and Paul and Mac and Maker. We started this thing up. Oh, and then obviously Isaiah was involved as well. Denton back in the day, you know, he was instrumental in the whole story. So I said from the beginning, I don't want this to be a place where you have to come do a second job. We all have work with, some of us have got families, we've got responsibilities. The last thing I want to do is to be chasing some virtual airline or them me. So don't let any scoring or any of those things affect you. There will be a couple of new rules in the new version of the VA where we're going to just try and make it a little bit more fair. You know, so you can't use different aircraft and pretend it's another aircraft or something like that, or fly incorrect routes. So we're working on things like that, but it's one of those things. Excellent. Yeah, I try and make it kind of realistic, but at the end of the day, it's still, that's the game portion of flight simulation for me. You know, it's the game side. I mean, you can't do anything with the virtual money you earn. We're all going to end up multi-millionaires in this virtual world. You know, and you can't do anything with it. You know, imagine going to Marbella and buying a nice £100 million house. You know, $200 million house and a speedboat and things with all the money we've earned already. But you know, we can't do it. So that's the whole. The VA side is the game side, but it gives you a reason to fly. It gives you stats. It gives you, you know, a feeling of you know, flying for an airline. Thank you, Thunder. Welcome. Damn it, sorry George. Yeah, and the last time I tried to extend the tour, I killed something in the database. I destroyed something, and poor old Mako, it took him a week almost to figure it out and fix it. So we decided once it's closed, we're leaving it closed, unfortunately. What we can do in the next version of the VA, you know, we can maybe just recreate them. That's one thing we can look at, but in this version we dead in the water. Even Sasso completed one of the tours today. He can't even get his badge, and I went back and I looked at some of the discussions we had. It seems that that's one of the modules that's broken now because of all the updates that happened, and it's out of our hands. We can't do anything about it. It's the supplier behind the scenes, basically, you know, and is what it is. So we'll have to get the whole badge and the reward system fixed again, and yeah, we'll get more tours. There's like two of them kind of hanging in the back of my mind, but once Mako comes back, I think he said he's back the 24th, which is 2 days from now, so Monday. He should be back. Then we're going to start focusing on getting the new VA going and sorting out all the stories, and then we will start looking at other tours again. Ches made a suggestion of another European tour. That's one option. Then somebody suggested that we do a tour to the members' home bases. So we select a group of guys and we say, okay, well, what's the closest airport to your place? Like Zibo, I'm going to give you the example. His closest international airport is LZIB. Can you believe it? I mean, that's coincidence, but it is. It's LZIB. So we then going to hop from, members airport to members airport kind of a thing. It's going to be a hell of a flight coming down from Europe to South Africa to come and join me at Johannesburg Airport. Zibo, you'll have to do 5 hops to get here. But anyway, it's not necessarily going to happen to my side. But the fact of the matter is that I think that's a good idea. Have a members tour, hop from one members airport to the next one. Gentlemen, Mac, Paul, and Uncle John, I see you've joined. Oh. Yeah, one is. Oh, out of 3. There's. Hello, Sasso. That's fine. Hello, Alex. I see you all muted, but welcome. And then, I dropped in earlier, like I said to you guys. I've got a fair idea. I've been following what you've been typing. I actually had to get out of the developer channel because every time Zibo types something, my eye catches it and I lose focus on my stream. I keep on reading. Okay, no worries. George, how will we know when the VA is updated? Oh, you'll know, don't worry. I will tell everybody, I promise you, and we'll stream it and we'll make a big story of it when it's updated. Don't you worry about it. And then we'll sort out the ACARs and everything. Don't worry about it. So, gents, from what I've read there, we're not going to disclose private stuff, but it seems that you had a very fruitful evening. Sorry, Alex. Good evening. Yeah. Welcome. Sorry, guys. I need to open your mics there. Nobody can hear you. There we go. You are open. Now everybody can hear you. There's
Hello, everybody. Hello. Pilots have been doing what pilots do, and that's trying to break the aircraft.
Okay.
In the most convenient and quick way.
Take it to the limit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, as long as you guys had fun. That's awesome. Really nice.
Absolutely.
I didn't notice 1.4 until 2 minutes after the stream started, and I just said to myself, you know what, I'm not going to stop the stream now or kill it and then reload and all those things, so I'll update to 1.4 after this flight.
Yeah, what I can say, Nico, unless you want to show them something regarding Route 1 and Route 2, there is no major change on 1.4. 1.4 is just to find the Route 1, which is still a work in progress for all the people. So we're still working, or actually Zibo is still working on fixing all the things regarding Route 1 and Route 2.
Sure, no problem. I did, however, notice that you can do a route import in 1.4 in Route 2. A company route import. I think that's what he said in one of his comments there. But okay, I can wait for 1.5. I don't mind. I'm just saying I didn't want to stop the stream and go chase after that one.
I'm sure it's right around the corner.
The earlier you go to bed tonight, Nico, the earlier Zibo can release it.
I know.
He can cheat the system and say to everybody, I'm going to sleep, and then 30 minutes afterwards he's up on the team.
You told him my secrets. It happened last night. It actually happened last night. But anyway, that wasn't planned. But once Zibo started chatting, and I had to come back. So
yeah,
anyway.
absolutely.
Well, so far so good. I'm actually doing the flight that we were discussing last night. So this Dublin to Stansted, and we're still going to land on the runway 04 now. So here we go. We're getting close. We're getting close.
Yeah. Courses?
I haven't set them yet.
Okay, perfect.
I haven't set the ILS active
because that's
yet
the first
either.
thing. It's my problem, so I apologize. But that's the first thing that I look to understand which direction you will take for landing.
Yeah.
So, and I was looking 27 in Stansted. It's not gonna work. But yeah.
Yeah.
No, I had a line check in Stansted 3 days ago, so I'm fresh on that airport. That's the thing.
Excellent,
That's the
excellent.
problem.
Did you land on the mushy runways or no?
Oh yes, of course, Alex. Of course. Well, it was still good. Not that good as normal, but we were just lucky. We went out to no more than 15 minutes before the crazy time happened with Luton closed and all the aircraft diverting. Anyway. Yeah. It was fun.
There you go. We set now.
Woohoo! You're doing an ILS or RMP or
ILS.
something different?
ILS.
Okay.
I'm sharing you on Discord if you guys want to watch it more quicker than on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
What's that long magenta line by the speed tape?
It's a VNAV thing that Zibo brought in. I think Southwest used it. Yeah, it's not just an option in the EFE.
Okay.
I kind of like it, so I just kept it. After doing all the test flights.
Pretty in pink.
Yeah. See, and also depending on your engine spool up, it actually shows you if you've got 5% or 10% or whatever. So that's your bug, and then that's your 5 or 10% leeway that it shows you, and you can, kind of keep track.
Nice.
Too posh for a low cost, huh?
Yeah, I know. We don't understand these things.
No, man. No chance.
Wake up speed, is it called?
Wake up speed, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess we have the go to sleep
Flight level
system.
100. Landing light switches on.
Isn't that when they send the Eurofighters up to see if you're awake?
Yeah.
Correct.
I just bumped my throttle there. Thanks, Thunder.
I'm trying, Nico.
Yeah, appreciate it. Practice makes perfect, George. When you're in good company like we are, their knowledge rubs off on us. Oh, that was difficult English. Sorry.
You're going from Laurel into the arrival.
That's what it tells me.
Yes.
I'm following the magenta line. Don't come and tell me
I
I'm
know.
wrong.
No, you're not wrong. I was just trying to insert something funny.
Okay.
Approaching transition.
You know that I can't follow too much the magenta because I get crazy. You know me.
Yeah.
Sato,
Yeah?
just spoke to my guy about the cost index stuff, so hopefully by tomorrow.
Oh, wonderful.
Sasso,
Yes, boss.
I was speaking to somebody in business, not aircraft related, and we were
Okay.
talking about IT, specifically IT stuff. And you won't believe the analogy I used to explain to her the problem we have with some of the users. Okay, and we were talking.
I want to hear this one.
Yeah, we were talking specifically about when systems break and people cannot help themselves afterwards because they're totally reliant on such system. And guess what we started talking about? Children of the magenta line. And I actually told my client about
Transition level.
the magenta line and
Ready for
following the
approach
ND
checklist.
and everything. How much she understood, I don't know. But anyway, she was into it, and
Yeah.
I used Children of the Magenta Line to explain to her how some of these IT computer users just lose the plot some days. You know, when something goes wrong, they can't help themselves because they're so used to the system.
Absolutely.
You know, doing the job for them that they lose it.
Look at the beautiness of no common VNAV installed.
Yeah. Yes, but this thing is diving, man.
Oh man, go down
That's
a level of automation.
That's unusual attitude. See, children of the magenta.
Yeah, you see.
Well,
You see.
this is
1000 to
children of
level up.
automatics. Just go down a level of automation.
Wait, I want to see what it does. Let's see what it does. That was one hell of a drop.
Why did it do that?
Double check ride, Nico.
Yeah, no, this is a triple check ride. Two training captains and a specialist with a keyboard, a clipboard. Shit, this is terrible. Well, I tell you what, we didn't hear screams from the back, so I think the guys enjoyed that. Here we go, slip and slide.
This is when the guys get nervous when I start writing on my clipboard.
I'm sure.
I was going to say, John is very quiet. He must be doing a lot of writing at the moment.
Alex,
Yeah.
why we have a VNAV speed as a pitch mode? No VNAV path. The flaps are still up, so it's not in approach logic.
Is the speed window open?
No.
That's it. It should
Yeah,
be in
you-
VNAV path.
Well, now that it's back in path, it should be in path. If he was out,
Yeah.
well, because he was out of the path earlier, which is why the plane was diving, it automatically would go into the VNAV speed. But now that he's caught back the path, it should switch back into path.
Okay, you see.
Yeah.
You see why
Yeah,
you
yeah,
need your
yeah,
clipboards.
yeah.
Make note, guys. Make note.
Noted.
Oh, he's back. Oh, man.
I've been here all the time. I'm writing.
Okay.
This is another thing I wanted to check. You guys see that the turn that you're going to make onto final kind of goes beyond
Yes.
the center line and then back on. If we were to reduce the speed on that waypoint,
Yes.
technically, it should redraw the
It
line
does.
so that it doesn't overshoot. Does it do it?
It's supposed to, yes, as far as I know it does, yes.
Yeah, that's 1-0 again against PMDG. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flaps 5 set.
Alex,
Yeah.
look, it's redrawn it already. Look, it's redrawn it already. Look.
Wow, what a thing of beauty, huh?
Yeah.
Better than the real one.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Okay. I want to ask you something else. In the PMDG, I've done some test flights with the 700 now. When they create an arc, they physically plot the arc with waypoints. Okay, so you see the magenta line waypoint, and it's kind of like jaggedy going around the
Really?
bend. Yeah.
That's not nice.
Yeah, but the question is, remember that aircraft is a very old model. I mean, that aircraft and the U10 firmware and stuff that it uses was the in thing between 2000 and 2008. So you're talking a much older generation. So the question I have is, I mean, you're a young guy, I don't know if you would know this, but I'm not sure whether that is the way that U10 actually drew
No, I don't believe so, because when I was on a Dash 8 in 2009, which is much older technology than the 700 or whatnot, you still would get a clean arc. If you want to build an arc manually, you can say you want a 15 mile arc and you want to manually build it. Well, then you just build a spot every 10 radios at 15 miles and join them all up together.
Sure.
But it should draw it nice and smooth, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm overexcited. I apologize.
No. It should just be one arc, and if you have like another waypoint along the arc that say has like an altitude or a speed restriction, then that will be along the routing in the legs page as well. But it should just be one nice, smooth-looking arc.
Yeah. No, because I was curious. The other thing that came to mind is we were wondering if that's not an FS 2020 limitation, that the guys had to physically, make a plan, if I can call it that.
It could be, but I think when I flew the Phoenix 320, I believe they seem to have their stuff really together. But their arc was quite smooth from what I remember. I'd have to go back and check, but they had a smooth arc, so...
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. Very curious.
Yeah, that sim seems to have some strange limitations. I mean, it's a beautiful sim and all that, but it has some strange limitations.
Yeah.
I wonder how it draws those curved ones on the RNAV approaches, Nico.
I don't know.
The RMP AR approaches.
Yeah. Mac,
yeah,
sorry, go Alex.
No, I was just saying, it was just kind of frustrating that I wanted to adjust the speed to redraw the tracks, but it wouldn't even do that.
No, well, look, I mean, the Zibo mod is depicting a much newer generation, in actual fact, current generation engine.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's got abilities that the other older generations just don't have.
Yeah, I was quite surprised that with a 2022 release of a 737 that, we're anticipating a brand new 737, but it just has all of the old features though.
Nico.
Yes, sir.
What does it says above the navigation display of DFO? Why we have those amber light there? What's the thingy?
No, that means that I moved my speed brake a millimeter too far. So the speed brake, see, it's armed and it's in place, but when you move it slightly, you see there, look, it's not deployed, but I've just moved it too far. It goes amber.
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Quick question. I've been watching real live streaming of aircraft landing at
flaps 30
set. The general observation is that in a crosswind or in a bit of turbulence, the Max is more stable on approach than the 800. Is that true or not?
Taxi lights on.
The Max is just a little bit heavier, but I mean, just depends on the weight of the aircraft.
Exactly.
I find the spool time is a little bit different on the Max that I find personally. I don't know. I like how the NG handles, but I like the modern side of the Max as well. So it's they both fly beautifully, but yeah, I think it just depends on the weight. Anytime you're going into somewhere with heavy winds, you want a heavy aircraft.
500, clear to land runway 04.
I landed in an airport the other day with winds gusting up to 32 knots, and I was 49 tons. That's like a kite with two engines.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
You had fun then.
Oh yeah, it was a training flight too, so first officer was just kind of giddy with a big smile just watching me.
This is something I really love about X-Plane. That 9-knot wind, you can feel it. You've got to counter it. You've got to do what you got to do. Yeah, it's not.
Exactly.
You don't get this in 2020.
Nah.
Right, so ailerons and kick a bit.
Center line is your friend.
Yeah, I know. I didn't.
Don't use reverse. Leave the reverse to idle.
Yeah, I didn't even use reverse.
Exactly. I love this.
Yeah, didn't even use it.
I like the captain that do a perfect touchdown, then deploy full reverse for no reason because you have a good brake cooling, and they start to yaw like crazy.
Yeah. My biggest problem was I was concentrating so much now that I was concentrating on, you know, turning into the wind with the ailerons and getting the rudder settled that I went off the center line. That's my bad. I'd made a mistake there. I shouldn't have done that. I should have concentrated maybe a little bit more.
100 remaining.
You had the sterile cockpit, it didn't work.
A nice landing.
Yeah, nobody died.
Exactly. When I first started flying, the senior training captain on the dash 8, he said there's no point having a smooth landing if you're breaking all the runway edge lights going down the runway.
Of course. Yeah. Woohoo, we made it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Stansted. Thank you for flying with Skymatix. Right, let's see. Epic, good evening, cats. Good evening. Yeah, this was a cowboy landing and cowboy approach, man. Well, it was nice. Christer approved. Okay, cool. Nice, thank you, Steve. Yeah, I cannot complain. I actually like this. For you real pilots watching, have you guys seen this stable approach plugin? Have you actually seen it before?
Yeah.
No, but I was actually thinking how nice that looked on the way in. It was telling you that you're stable. That was quite nice.
Yeah. You get all kinds of warnings and things, and you know, greens and reds and yellows on the screen there, and it gives you quite a bit of information.
A nice annoying pilot monitoring on the other side shouting, speed.
Speed. Continue. No, I don't think so. Go around. No, continue.
Yeah, exactly.
After landing procedure.
After landing procedure.
Hello, Linda.
Yeah, she's back in the cockpit now.
Stabilized.
Gents, while you are also here, question. In the latest version 26, I don't know if you can recall it. I know we're all beyond 26 on our testing side now already, but Sasso, Alex, did you pick up that the brake-free thrust was a bit too much to start rolling, or do you think it is still okay? Because that is a question I got asked in support. Somebody was complaining that the brake-free thrust is too much.
Do you mean the brake-free thrust?
To start rolling from stationary.
Oh, you mean like if it just starts accelerating too quickly, you mean?
No, listen. Like if you watch my stream, see, I'm stationary.
Yeah.
Completely stationary. Now I push my throttle forward. So what the guy is saying is, he was saying this thing should start rolling the wheels at, I think, 25 or 30% in one, and he says that
no, man, you can release the brakes at the aircraft's light, it'll start rolling without any thrust.
Exactly.
Okay,
or
no, but
if
listen, I'm asking for the Zibo mod, not the real aircraft. The reason is he's complaining that the Zibo mod doesn't start rolling quick enough. So this is the question. Compared to the real one, is the Zibo mod starting the roll, you know?
The Zibo mod is fine compared with the real one.
Okay.
Remember that there is no equation, okay? There is no mathematics behind this. It depends on so many factors, like for instance, if you have an up slope, down slope, if you are heavier or less heavy, or if you have, I don't know, 42 degrees outside, that will impact as well, okay? It really depends, yeah. That's all I can say.
Okay, no, I was just curious because you see, hello Yamin, welcome. We're all excited about Route 2, man, and the pilots here with us were sitting with Zibo and the rest of the crew here tonight working really hard on it again. So yeah, but look, one of the problems I have being a flight sim pilot compared to a real pilot that you guys are is I don't necessarily always know when I get a complaint whether it is valid, so to speak, or not, you know, because a flight simmer has got his idea of what it should be because he's comparing the Zibo to the PMDG or whatever. You understand? He's got his way of evaluating. But you guys aren't always around, so I can't always ask you. And this is why I quickly fired a few questions to you. Because
Yeah, no, absolutely, man.
I mean, there is no mathematics behind this. There is no formula for this.
Okay.
It really depends on manufacturer. The first one, do you have an upslope in front of you? Do you have a downslope in front of you?
Is the captain overweight? I mean,
exactly, yeah. Sometimes in the same place, maybe just different airport. In La Mesa, sometimes when you have to start a taxi out and start with a turn, you need 39% and want to start moving. In another situation, like for instance in Bergamo with a nice straight and level apron, as soon as you have 28, it will start ready to roll. It just depends.
I hear you. Now, I just need to get my head around when I speak to these guys, because it's like this one discussion here in the Zibo chat room with one of the other real pilots. I don't think he's current. I think he's a previous real pilot in the 7.3, but I mean he was bitterly upset and complaining about the N1 not being correct. I think that's part of what you and Zibo discussed earlier today as well, so you know, pitch and N1 and CI.
He was spot on.
Is it? Okay.
Really nicely.
Should be being compared to the Zibo by now.
Nico, what I can do for the pleasure of the streaming gents, give me a second.
Shutdown procedure. See, the issue is this, okay? Number one, during that conversation about N1, I was not aware that Zibo was going to implement CI. Okay, then he implemented CI and then he started talking about N1 and so on. So this other guy kind of, you know, he was putting the cart in front of the horse, you know, and he caught me a little bit unawares there. That's why I stopped talking in that discussion, because then when I realized what Zibo was doing, there was no point in me talking out of the bedroom, basically, you know, and it's just whatever. So yes.
Give me a second, and then if you want, Nico, you can show the people what I'm streaming.
Right, let me just quickly grab you on the screen, yeah?
Give me a second.
Ready for a shutdown checklist.
I'm changing something.
No worries.
I want to show. So this is basically part of the test we have done. So as you can see, we have.
Tell me when I can stream, because I can see.
Sorry. Yeah, you can stream. Yeah.
Give me a second. Let's get that up on the screen. Okay, there you go. That's Astro's cockpit. Yeah,
okay. This is the screenshot from the test we have been just doing before with Alex and Zibo and all the others. And this is the situation with 59 tons aircraft and up speed at around 5,000. More or less, or 8. Well, in the terminal area, this is considered. By the manual, we have 5.5 nose up and 50. What it was, Alex? 55%, something similar.
Yeah, it was about 58, but I mean, give or take at this altitude, and
exactly.
You know.
You look, is table there, and this picture, this screenshot was taken without ends on the yoke. It was exactly trimmed out, and it was maintaining this pitch and power to get the performance. And then this other one was with the flap 1 out, but 183 knots, which is exactly by the manual. And this time it was about still 5.5 degrees nose up And the manual
Yeah.
was saying 60.5.
This one was spot on.
This was really spot on.
And I saw Zibo made a comment there to you guys that there's a 5% tolerance that is allowable.
Exactly.
So you see, this is exactly what you get.
Listen, well, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, at the end of the day, this is a simulator,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And when I'm flying on the line and we are coming down on the approach, and say I know, for example, that at this weight I should be expecting about 1 degree and about 56% to give me my speed with a flap 30 approach. But that's just a datum. It just depends on the wind, it depends on the temperature. I may need plus or minus 5% depending on the atmosphere, depending on everything. So these are just datum settings. It doesn't mean that on every single approach in a simulator, when you go down the glide slope, you're going to set 58% and have 1 degree and it's going to be smack on perfect. That's just it's a reference. Like if you get a gust of wind and you have to pull the thrust off, at least you know when the gust of wind has finished gusting, you know which percentage you can sort of return to kind of give you a stable approach as opposed to always hunting for it. So it's just a datum, it's just a reference point.
Yes. Alex, and you've touched on exactly where I'm aiming to with my conversation, okay, is that many flight simmers don't understand this exact thing that we're talking about. They don't understand that it's a reference, not a law, because a lot of flight simmers treat something that they heard it's a law. If you don't follow this law, you don't pass go, you don't collect $200, you just go straight to jail. You know what I'm saying? That's the impression that I get from a lot of flight simmers, because they don't realize that the real aircraft does not work like this. And we've had this
dynamic situation.
Yes, we've had this discussion a few times now with Zibo present, where we said, be careful not to make this aircraft unrealistically too good.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there is always in the real world the tolerance that needs to be taken into account, the different situations you were taking. But
whenever we're testing like on an approach, we should be doing it at sea level with the ground temperature at 15 degrees Celsius and the pressure at 1013 with absolutely no wind conditions, and then that will give you the exact figures on a perfect standard day, a standard atmosphere. But on any other day, man, it's always a dynamic situation. You have to add power, change pitch, keep the aircraft stable. It's just dynamic.
Just to throw another wobbly in there, just in real life, how much difference is there in the power from the engines between a new life engine and a long life engine?
Oh, I don't even well there, but we never check.
I don't even tell the difference. Yeah.
All I can tell you. Yeah. Go, Alex.
No, I was just gonna say, not to make it sound any kind of way, but as a real life pilot, when you jump in a plane, you're flying by the seat of your pants. Like you're flying. It doesn't matter if it's a new engine or an old engine. You adapt automatically to just maintain a speed or maintain a pitch, whatever the engine is calling for. And if it's something ridiculous, like you need 90% on something that you would normally need 50%, well then something is wrong. You're either in wind shear or something has happened. Your aircraft is underperforming for whatever reason, something like that. But at the end of the day, like I don't think Sasso and I sit there and say, we're at 59% today, whereas yesterday we were at 57.5. Like it's just something you're just flying your feet. You're flying whatever the aircraft is giving you on that day. So it's hard to sort of answer that, to be honest, Matt.
No. Also, what I was getting at is it's not a defined figure. It can even vary beyond the weather. It can pressure, anything, but it can even be engine performance.
Sometimes we have a split thrust. Sometimes we have split thrust levers where like one lever, they're like almost like an inch split apart, because one engine is giving me 86% at this thrust lever angle and the other one's giving me 86% at this thrust lever angle, but they're just slightly split. It's just
and likewise, there's probably one or two aircraft that have probably got higher drag factors just because they're slightly bent or something like that along the way.
It really depends on the condition, okay? Bergamo, approaching a 9 in the morning with still relatively low temperature, okay? I'm approaching on a perfect light 3 degrees, maybe I keep the thrust between 55 and 57%, I will bring the aircraft home. If I do the same thing 5 hours later, in the middle of the afternoon, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, with the OTA rising and 36 degrees on the ground, I promise you that if I keep 50%, just because the book says 50%, I'm gonna crash the aircraft every day. That's all as it is. This is airmanship. This is the defined point between a manual and airmanship.
Yeah, that's what Krista just said in the chat. Aviate, navigate, communicate, and aviating is never carved in stone. Absolutely correct.
Yeah. Sorry, Nico, I will just, that was the picture that I was there to share. That is part of the test we have been doing, and this was just to double check that pitch and power are correct in the Zibo.
100%. No, that's cool.
Yeah,
I love it. And I mean, I can see the comments there. The guys are impressed with, what you guys are sharing here. So thank you very, very much for that as well.
Pleasure, Nico.
I think to just end the conversation, I have always said this: aircraft don't ride on rails; they fly. Air is just a different version of water. And if you look at our boat maneuvers, it's the same kind of concept, and you've got to understand. I mean, we get it a lot in the support, but the Zibo's porpoising, and the Zibo's going up and down and left and right and rolling and whatever. And once you go through all the questions with the user, it usually comes down to, weather or, a procedure fault or whatever. But the aircraft itself, within the constraints of the simulator, is behaving the way it should. But because I'm not a real pilot in the 737, at least I don't know any better. That's why we ask you guys.
Nico, sorry, I will use your streaming just to share another piece of information, something that we have been tested just to make sure that it was working as fine. Somebody was saying to us that the toga mode was not working in the way it should. It does. So it's all good and perfect. Now, a piece of information for everybody. The toga mode, the toga guidance will work even if the autothrottle is off, is disarmed, and even if the flight director switches are into off position. Now remember, to have toga guidance, so to enter the toga, the toga process into the mind of the FMC, or in the mind actually of the FMA in front of your eyes, you need two conditions. The toga guidance will join you when you press toga, either by pressing the MIC button on the Zibo or by pressing the toga button on the thrust lever, whatever you want. Providing that you are with no flaps up, if you are above 2,000 feet array, this is exactly how the real one. So if you are above 2,000 feet array, you need to have the flaps not in up position or to be over a glide slope, so like to be in an approach phase, to have the toga guidance ready to come in. So if I'm at 11,000 feet
as well.
Exactly. If I'm at 11,000 feet, or I don't know how much, but more than 2,000 feet above array, so above the radio altitude, and I have the flaps up and I press toga button, don't go crazy. The flight director and toga mode will not join you, just because that's the way it is. The other thing is, instead, if I'm below 2,000 feet array, even if I have the flaps up, the toga guidance will be there for me. So if I press toga and the aircraft recognize that he is at 2,000 feet array or less or lower, then toga guidance will come in.
That's amazing.
Last piece of information, Nico, that I finish. That's connected with the importance that many times it says recycle the flight director.
Yes.
Why we recycle the flight director? Exactly for this reason, for the toga guidance. Because if the flight director switches are in the off position, we press toga, providing that the condition that I just said before are met, we will get the bar. We will get the pitch for the toga and the roll mode as well, which technically will maintain, if you are in raw data with nothing selected, it will maintain the last ground track you were flying. So wings level, to get it simple. But if you have the flight director switches into off position, as soon as the aircraft goes out from the toga mode by, I don't know, reaching the missed approach altitude, for instance, or you press something on the MCP, or you engage, I don't know, the level change or the autopilot or whatever, as soon as you go out from the toga mode, then the flight director bar will disappear. That's why it's important to recycle the flight directors, so to have them off and then back on, so they will be ready to remain there after you go out from the toga mode.
Exactly, especially if you're doing a critical missed approach and you need the lateral guidance, you're not going to get LNAV unless you've recycled the flight directors, and because once you get above 400 feet, you're going to want a lateral mode to be able to guide you through the missed approach. And if you don't have it, or you forget it, then you're going to be flying wings level for until you realize that you're not on your prescribed track.
Yep.
So that's another piece that we tested, and is exactly as the real one.
Okay, can I ask you two pilots another question? Did you see my video landing at Santos Dumont in Rio that I did?
Cool cinematic one, you mean?
The one with the 3 streams in one.
I remember some of it, yeah.
Right, because there I specifically did the cycle of the flight directors. I'm just looking for it here quickly. Give me a second, people. Give me a second. So we can do.
It's just very important, because otherwise, if you imagine that you do, let's call it the missed approach, okay? That is something simple. As soon as you do the go around, the last thing you want is to lose the flight director guidance, the flight director bar, when you're starting to level off. Just because the aircraft goes out from the toga mode and you lose the flight director.
Exactly. I'm busy quickly streaming. You'll have to look on YouTube to see it. I just want to quickly show the people what we're talking about. You'll see there, and there. Now they're off, and now I switch them back on. And this is after my autopilot disconnected, specifically as mentioned just now. So, yeah, I just thought while I'm thinking about it, I might as well just show them what we're talking about.
And remember, just to find it as it is in the real one, when you recycle the flight director, do it in sequence. You are flying on captain side, so flight director on captain side off, flight director on the FO side off, then back on in the same sequence. So captain first on, FO later on. So always have the master on the pilot flying side, okay? Just to keep it in the loop.
Yes, yeah, wonderful. This has been a great stream, guys. Thank you so much. People on the stream, viewers, if you have any questions, this is the time to ask, because in the next minute or so we're going to stop the stream. So shoot, if you need something, now is the time to speak.
Or join the Discord and raise the question in the Skymatix Discord.
Yeah, you're welcome to do that as well. Yeah, okay. Well, thank you everybody for watching and spending time with us. It's been great. I'm just watching.
That was a cool approach, huh?
Yeah, I'm just watching the landing and then I'll call it a day.
I love that wing view. It's really nice.
Yeah. Man, but it's a trying situation to match the videos, eh?
Oh yeah, I could imagine. They did a really good job.
MFDC3, you're welcome, yeah. Okay, well, that's it. I've landed, I've said my piece. I don't see any other questions. So guys and girls, enjoy yourselves. We'll speak tomorrow morning again. We'll do our customary Saturday morning flight with all of you guys. Have fun until then, eh? Bye-bye.
Bye all.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you,
Bye, guys.
Hugo.
You're welcome, Mac. You're welcome, everybody. Bye-bye.